Hi, I'm Heather. I'm a character artist at the Magic of Disney Animation here at the Disney Hollywood Studios in Florida. Today we're going to show you how to draw Minnie Mouse. She's fairly easy. She's one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all ready? So we're going to start out with the circle. What we do when we draw our circle, we're going to actually draw with our shoulder. So act like you're stirring something above your paper. At the size of a CD or DVD, what I want to do is also make sure we have it in place. We're going to have it a little bit lower than the halfway point of the paper. Go ahead and sketch that out. Don't worry about it being a perfect circle. You can always practice it. I highly recommend just going back home and just practice nothing but circles, and you will get better at it. Okay, once you get that nice circle, we're going to go ahead and put in our vertical guidelines. So we're going to go right down the middle of the circle from top to bottom. And don't worry about it being a perfect straight line. Okay. We're going to go in next and put a horizontal guideline in. Now Minnie's horizontal line is just a hair lower than Mickey's. So I'm actually going to take my pencil and just move it a hair lower. Right about in that area. We're going to go left to right, using our shoulder once again. You do want to make sure that you use your full arm and your shoulder to keep it nice and loose. Okay. As long as you keep your lines very, very light, you can go in there and adjust it as many times as you need to, because we're all going to make mistakes. It is okay. Just go ahead and adjust it and you'll be fine. So we're going to go next. We're going to put in Minnie Mouse's ears. So we're going to see where the two lines meet in the middle. We're going to go to the top left corner. We'll find the center of the ear. So we're going to do a little curved line back and forth. And then we're going to roll this around using our shoulder. Get the momentum going. This is going to be more a cross between a circle and an oval. Just use that shoulder, get a nice round shape there. So we're going to go over on the right side and kind of do the same thing. Find where the center, the vertical and horizontal line meet. Go to the top right corner. You're going to find the center. Just do a rocking horse back and forth. And you're just going to roll this around. And you're going to get a cross between a circle and oval for the ears. And again, keep it very, very light, especially when you're doing Minnie Mouse, because the bow is going to cover up some of the ears and the top of the head. So you want to keep everything very light until you're ready. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to look at the horizontal line. We're going to do a little curved line right across that vertical guideline. And we're going to actually start drawing in the muzzle. Now Minnie's muzzle is a little bit smaller than Mickey's. The guideline moved down just a little bit lower. So we want to make sure the bottom of the muzzle just stays up above the bottom of that circle. So we're going to go ahead and use our shoulder to draw in that muzzle. Nice and easy. Keep it light. Keep using that shoulder and that arm. And make it messy. Make lots of lines in there. The more lines you have, the better. Keep in mind, because her muzzle is smaller, Minnie's nose is also going to be smaller. So we're going to come down just a little bit lower than the top of the nose. And then we're going to roll this around nice and easy. Or the size of a grape or an olive. Let's go ahead and sketch that out. And this is what we'll do in animation. They'll actually sketch it out really quick first and pass it off to the cleanup artist, and then they'll actually kind of clean it up a little bit with the erasers and maybe trace over a few lines. Go ahead and show you how to trace over a few lines. If you look at the top of the muzzle there, find the line that you like the best and just kind of keep it nice and smooth in one long, easy stroke. Gets you some good line quality in there too as well, and that just takes practice too as well. Also going to darken in the top of the nose, and I'm going to go back and underneath the nose and darken in that too as well. We want to make sure you keep it nice and round and not to flatten out Minnie Mouse's nose. So we're going to come over here on the side here. Same thing on the right side here. Darken that in. And then we're going to darken in the bottom of the muzzle here. I'm going to trace over with the curved line. And when we work on her smile, we're going to bring her smile a little bit past the side of the muzzle into the open area. Okay, so we're going to bring this up. And you're going to put your dimple at the top of the smile. Show you a little trick. The dimples kind of line up where the nose is. There. So we're going to do the same thing on the right side. You're going to bring the smile up. You want to still keep it underneath the horizontal line. And just draw in a little dimple. Okay. And then we're going to work on her mouth. Now keep in mind, because that horizontal line is a little bit lower, it's also going to create her muzzle smaller and her mouth going to be a little bit smaller as well. So we're going to start with the dimple. We're going to go down the smile. And we're going to look at about where the side of the muzzle is. We're going to bring this down into the bottom of that circle. Just a little bit past the bottom of the circle. And we're going to come over here on the left side. We look at the dimple. We're going to go down the smile. Look at the side of the muzzle. And we're going to bring this down into the middle. Okay, it's a nice, easy little mouth. And then Minnie's tongue kind of looks like a letter M, so I always think of the initials. So we start on the left side of the mouth at the bottom. We're going to curve into that vertical guideline. You're going to take over right where you left off and draw in another curved line. And then we're going to come underneath the bottom of the mouth, just a little bit lower, and start with the chin. So we just want to keep it light at first. Let it roll up into the bottom of that circle. Same thing on the right side. We're going to go ahead and bring that up to the bottom of the circle. You want to make sure that you do not bring the chin all the way up into the dimples. That'll be okay for chipmunks. Chipmunks will be, the chins will come all the way up to the dimples there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to work on the cheek. So we look at the side of the muzzle. We're going to push this up to the horizontal line, and we're going to bring it a little bit outside that circle. So we noticed that Minnie's cheeks are kind of squishy. You know, back in the day, Mickey and Minnie started out looking a little different back in the Steamboat Willie days and in 1928. And then Freddie Moore in the 1940s came in and gave Mickey and Minnie a whole different modern look that we see today. So thanks to Freddie Moore, we do have that nice squishy look on her cheeks. So again, I'm going to use the side of my pencil. I'm going to push that cheek out and kind of keep it loose in your hand and just kind of angle it right into that chin. So you want to keep it as the side of a heart. And we're going to come over here on the left side. We look at the side of the muzzle. We're going to push up to the horizontal line around that dimple. We'll go a little bit outside that circle, and we're going to angle it right into that chin. We don't want to go too far out away from the circle, so make sure you kind of keep it tight when you go out there. There's little ways you can fix your cheek. You can step back from it, and you can see if your cheek's a little bit off. Also recommend flipping your paper upside down, and you can see if your cheeks are off a little bit better that way too. So that's a little tip for you. So we're going to darken in the top part of the cheek now, once we already figure out if we want to work on that. And we're just going to bring this around, just kind of trace over that little curve and angle it right into that chin. And if it works out better for you too, you can also take your paper and turn it a little bit to get a better curve. So just keep it natural in your wrist. Let's go ahead and darken that in there. And take some time to get those curves just right because they're nice and round. A lot of Disney characters are very round too, so practicing circles is really good. So we're going to work on her mask. When I do her mask now, I'm actually going to keep it very light again because her bow is going to overlap on top of that. So still keep it light until we add that bow in there. So let's look at the top of the cheek. We're going to curve up to the top of the head. So we want the side of the mask is the same curve as the side of the circle. We're going to roll it around into that vertical guideline. Okay. We're going to take over right where you left off and bump it against the top of that circle, and we're going to angle it right back down into the top of that cheek. And then the side of the mask, once again, is the same curve as the side of the circle there. Okay. And go ahead and sketch that in there, make it really messy. I'm going to do the eyes last because the eyes really bring the character to life. So we'll do the bow first and then we'll do the eyes. And when we start with the bow, I like to think of it as kind of more of a butterfly kind of shape. So we got the knot as the body of the butterfly, and it's going to sit on top of the head. So we're going to go right here at the vertical guideline. Just roll it around nice and easy. Just sketch it out first. Now we want the bottom of the bow to kind of come down in front of the head just a tiny bit. So we're going to start with the bottom corner of the knot, curve down, and about halfway into the ear, you're going to make a turn, like a U-turn, into the ear, and then come right back out into the open area. Well, stay inside the ear there. Don't go quite out yet. Now you want to keep in mind that Minnie's bow is wider and shorter at the bottom, and it's taller and skinnier at the top. So we're going to start where we left off. We're going to curve up toward the top of that peg here. We're going to roll it around and right back into that knot. Okay. And make it big, because Minnie Mouse definitely has those big bubbly bows there. So you definitely want to go really big on that. And her outfits are very bubbly. You want to keep with the character. Sometimes the animators will get up and kind of act like the character. So don't be afraid to try a voiceover out and go, oh boy, try something out. So we'll just start on the right side. Look at the side of that knot. We're going to curve down on top of her head. We're going to roll it into the ear, make a U-turn. Don't go quite outside the ear yet. And then we're going to do the same thing as you did on the left side. So we'll start with the inside of the knot. We're going to curve up and roll it back around into the bow. Just do the best you can, getting the same thing on both sides. It's hard, it's symmetry. You can always look back at it. Again, flip your paper over upside down so you can kind of get a good feel if your bow is off a little bit. So that's a little good trick here. You can even place it on top of a window or something where you got light coming through. All right, once you get your bow in there, we're going to go ahead and place in her eye. So you're going to have one eye on either side of the vertical guideline. You're going to basically draw in an oval on the left-hand side. And I'm going to just go ahead and sketch it out, sitting on top of that muzzle. And we're going to leave a little space in between the eyes. So you just want to make sure that you do leave just a tiny bit of space. And then we're going to roll this around nice and easy. And again, just do the best you can and get the same thing on both sides. You can also take your pencil to the top of your eyes there and see if you need to adjust one. If your eyes are kind of a little lopsided, just go back in and fix that eye just a little bit. Your eyes kind of line up where the bottom of the ears are. And then when you're ready, you like your eyes, you can go ahead and darken them in. Keep those lines nice and smooth. Keep them loose too as well. You don't have to press down hard to get a dark line, just barely touching your paper. And to get a darker line, you just go over the line several times to make it darker. And then you can, for your pupils, you can have her looking right back at you. You can have her looking up in the air. I think she looks really sweet when she looks up in the air because she's got her little shoulder up and she's just looking. So on the right side of each eye, let's just draw in an oval. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side, just draw in a little oval. And then we're going to go ahead and put in some eyelashes. So the eyelashes for the right eye is going to curve out to the right. For the left eye, it's going to curve more out to the left. So what I want to do is take the top eyelid and curve, do a little S curve going out to the right and go through the bow. There's some nice long eyelashes, make her girly. So we're going to go over on the left side and draw in another curved line. And do the same thing on the right side. Do a little curved line. You want to make sure that, again, that middle eyelash is a little bit longer than the two on either side of it. And then the same thing on the left side. Just take the top eyelid, curve out to the left. And then two on either side should be a little bit shorter. You still want to kind of curve out like it flows off of the eyelid like a big S. Same thing on the right side. And curve that in. And then we're going to go ahead and darken in the mask right underneath the bow. Anything that's outside the bow, you can darken in. I'll go ahead and darken in any part of the ear outside the bow too as well. Again, keep all the lines inside the bow very, very light because you're going to either erase those when you get home or you can cover it up with some shading for the bow. Let's go ahead and darken in that ear. Make sure your ears also stay connected to your head. Otherwise, you'll have floating alien ears. And then when you start to shade, actually, you're going to shade in from the top left corner to bottom right corner. So you just do a very quick sketch, quick shading. Shade in from top left corner to bottom right corner. And then we're going to shade in the back of the mouth, right around the tongue. The sideburns. And the widow's peak up there at the top. And just do a very quick shade. Don't worry if it goes out at the lines, because you can always take your erasers and clean that up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and shade in its ear outside the bow. Just do a very, very quick shading. This top left corner to bottom right corner. Minnie is short for Minerva. And she originally owned Pluto. That's really cool. Go ahead and darken in my bow just a little bit. I'm going to make that a little smoother, not quite as sketchy. Tidy that up. Tiny bit. And then we're going to go in there and we're going to put in a few little wrinkles inside her bow. So I like to call them two little spider legs. So we're going to go to the left side of our knot and kind of curve out. Same direction underneath it. Do another little spider leg on the right side and do another one right underneath it. Okay. You can toss in some little hollow spots in the bow too as well. So you start with the top knot. You're going to curve up and bring it around. Just kind of give it a little bit of a looseness. And we're going to go on the right side. Start at the top of the knot. You're going to curve up and bring it around. Okay. And you can toss in some polka dots too as well. We just got some half circles or full circles and just randomly toss them in there. Don't think too much about it. It's actually going to turn out a lot better for you when you think less about where you place in those circles. So just toss in nice big circles to make it the Minnie Mouse bow we know and love. See, Minnie Mouse is kind of more like the girl next door type of character. And then, of course, our last step, we're going to go ahead and sign our artwork right here at the bottom of our paper. So somewhere on your paper, you do want to make sure your name goes on your paper. So just go ahead and sign that. So there you go. It's a quick lesson on how to draw Minnie Mouse. Don't worry if your drawing doesn't come out perfect the first time. Trust me, I've drawn Minnie Mouse thousands of times and I'm still learning myself, so don't worry. Just keep working on it and be the best artist that you can be. Next time you're in Florida, come take a class with us here at the Animation Academy, me and my fellow artists. Keep your pencils sharp and keep drawing, everybody.